All right, let's do this. Hello, world. I'm Jeremy Kahn. My camera's up there now. I moved it. And I'm not showing off code today necessarily. I just want to show off some cool AI stuff that I'm pretty jazzed about. So I've always been a big fan, well, ever since it became a thing, but always been a big fan of local AI tooling. I've since sort of like come to terms with the fact that, short of having tens of thousands of dollars to blow on personal computer hardware, it's pretty limited what I can actually run on my setup. But you'd be surprised what you can actually get away with, and how far you can get, how far you can take it. And you don't necessarily need, Claude Code and all these frontier models for everything. For some things, you do. Let's be real. Like there is a wide range of tasks that frontier models are the only reasonable choice for. If you're building real software, production grade software, anything professional, if you're not just noodling around, like you're gonna need a real model. But like, if there's all these others, like admittedly smaller niche use cases where local models are totally fine. The one I'm personally really in love with is GPT OSS 20B. Um, you know, there's the 120B variant, which is obviously bigger and better, more powerful, and I actually can run it on my system because I have a silly amount of RAM in this laptop. But it's just slower, and with all this stuff, it's kind of the devil's in the details. Like sometimes you want, it's more important to go faster than to have the highest quality response, or sometimes like the lesser quality response is good enough. And all this is to say is that for my hardware, for my needs, for my performance expectations, GPT OSS 20B is good for most things. Realistically, if I was going to be, doing like agentic coding or like doing real work with a local model, or AI in general, rather, I'd be using Gemini. That's the one that I like. Claude's also great. It's just expensive, and Gemini is very, very cost effective. So I just go with Gemini for my personal use. But the thing is, there's some things that no matter how good the quality of the model actually is, like I would never want to use a hosted model for anything that would ever touch sensitive data, because all of your prompts, everything you're working with an AI model for, like you're sending all this data to the cloud, to these servers, and you don't know what Google, Anthropic, OpenAI, whatever, you don't know what they're doing with it. And because you don't know what they're doing with it, and you can't actually control it or verify anything, you have to assume the worst possible thing. Like you just have to assume that anything that you send to, OpenAI servers like Sam Altman, you have to assume that Sam Altman is personally taking that data and doing like the worst possible thing to you with it. Obviously, that's a little bit extreme, but like as far as like sensible OPSEC and just good, data hygiene, you just assume the worst and protect things. Don't give sensitive data to third parties. Is really all it comes down to. So all this is to say, like this is a major use case for local models. So I've always been a big fan of this app right here. It's called Jan. It's basically like an open source alternative to LM Studio. LM Studio is phenomenal software. I prefer not to use it because it's not open source. Therefore, I don't know what they're doing with my data. I can't verify it. Like again, like because if my data is going to a black box, like if I'm putting, if I have like a personal question I want to ask a local model, if it's going into LM Studio, which is closed source, I have to assume that LM Studio is just piping all of my data straight to the NSA and saying, hey, this guy's committing a crime. I'm not committing a crime, but like the point is that like you have to assume worst possible intent if you can't verify otherwise. Yes, it's extreme. It's probably not actually necessary, but this is the sort of mindset that makes me happy. So that's what I'm gonna do. So anyways, let me see if I have any chat here. Here we go. Okay, I got the chat in a separate window here. Oh, and my computer just died. Well, it is possible that you still see me, but my window manager has just totally bitten the dust. So I have to restart my computer. This happens. It's a thing where when I drag a window from my laptop screen to my main screen, I think it's a display resolution issue, but it causes the whole thing to crash. So I've got to hard reset my computer. I've got to do the Linux RISUB thing because it's totally locked up and I have no input. But this happens when this happens. Apparently, peripherals like the webcam still work. So I need to restart my computer, and I will be back in a few minutes. Hang on, I have to put in this keyboard combo. Oh, print screen, RISUB, REIS.